Hey everybody, and welcome to a Lefty Knitter podcast. This is episode 239. My name's Aquila, and I'm coming to you from Baltimore, Maryland. It's been a whirlwind of 2 weeks, and I didn't post any real podcasts in that time, so I apologize, but life has just been doing its thing. I did post a tutorial on doing a scrubby, which is crochet. I love using the Red Heart Scrubby yarn. I've showed you guys that before. I had been asked by you all at some point to possibly show you guys how I do that, and so I did finally post that. So if you look in my YouTube list, you'll see that I posted that as my last video before this one. And my cat wants to bother me big time. She never comes down here like this, but recently she is all about it. Not quite sure what happened there, but I got cut off. I have made notes, and I'm gonna just update you guys on what I have been doing. So I know I was showing you guys the love note in the last episode that I posted, so I have an update on that. It is the Tincanknits pattern love note, and I made one of these for my daughter. And now I've made one for myself. I was very excited about this because, where's the bag it was in? Okay. I'm very excited because I made this sweater at a very extremely low price, in my opinion. Because I had gotten this at, I had gotten the main yarn at a shop down in the Outer Banks that's called the Blue Pelican. And it was a fill-a-bag for so much money. And I used 2 skeins of this tenderfoot. Where's my label? That's the one label. I don't know what I did with it. I have some, oh my gosh, I have some in here somewhere. It's Tenderfoot, that's what the brand is called. And the other yarn is I got from the Yarn Birds, and it was this, mohair. This is how much I have left. I haven't weighed it yet. And yeah, I am really glad. And I have a whole nother skein of the mohair. And I bought that intentionally, a third one, because I'd have extra mohair for something. I've not blocked this yet or woven the ends, so I will be showing this to you guys one more time. There is a front and back because I did the short rows that it calls for at the bottom. And so there is a front and a back. Sorry, I have my... I still have the yarn in from where my sleeves were on hold, so I was about here when I showed you guys last. So I had finished all of the chart, the lace work, which I know I screwed up somewhere. You shift the chart at some point, and I think I shifted it wrong, and I'm gonna be okay with it. Has sleeves, has the high-low hem. And I am super excited about this. I'm hoping maybe tomorrow. Today's kind of like a dreary day, and I was going to pin it out today and put it outside. But I think I'm going to wait till we have a really good, hot, not summer, but just a sunny day. And because this is going to take some time to dry. So this is technically a finished object. But I will show it again once I block it, and I'll like put it on and whatnot and show you guys. I'm really happy with this. So overall, I think it was like maybe $25, $30 to make this whole sweater. So on talking about yarn and accessibility, you know, lots of festivals are coming. And I know it can be really difficult if you don't have a budget to spend money. I have plenty of yarn here, and recently going to the yarn festivals, I have not been buying very much at all. I buy maybe some notions, or I buy maybe a skein that really sticks out to me. I have yarn I need to work with, and it's in the back of my head. But so talking about on a budget, there are many times you can hit up festival stands that have discounted or clearance yarn. So if you are a knitter, crocheter, maker with yarn, and you are on a budget, you can find items that work. Sometimes you might have to buy them in pieces and you don't know how they're going to fit together. Like, I had purchased this yarn 2 summers ago, and now I've found a home for it. It has a home in this, and I just don't want people to be discouraged. I've always talked about, I use acrylic yarns. There's a purpose. You know, some people can't wear wool. Some people have to wear acrylic. You know, there's a time and place for everything. So I know there can be judgy people, there can be judgmental people, you know, in general, and that's in every aspect of everything we do, whether it's cooking or sewing or quilting or gardening. It could be anything. And so I just don't want people, you know, you have to do what's right for you and your household and your budget. And you have to build a little bit of a tough skin sometimes if you're putting yourself out there talking about it, because there are going to be people that may not be nice. And it's a shame. Because if somebody's just doing something that they love, like, and it's not hurting anyone else, why do the bots and the people have to complain? Like, it's okay. Okay, love note. That was a rant. But, yeah, so I had put some markers in here just so you can see, because I didn't, I did how many rows. I measured it till it said for the pattern, and then I did my bind off and whatnot, but I didn't put in markers at first, and I was like, oh, I need to know how many I did, because I want them to be as close as possible. So, and yeah, I probably could have squeaked out maybe one more row, but I wasn't chancing it. So I'm very happy with that. I will show it again to you guys once I block it. So there's something you haven't seen at all. I was on Instagram scrolling, and somebody had made a doily. And if you had watched in the past, I have done a little bit of crocheting with beads and some crochet thread and doing really tiny crochet stuff. And so I have my crochet cotton. I believe it's the 10, crochet cotton 10. I don't have the label anymore. But I've been just using this, and when I was scrolling, I saw somebody post a doily, and they posted the pattern designer's name, and I went and looked, and they have a bunch of free patterns that you can use. And they have some paid for patterns too. So I just was like, I want to know if I can even do this. And so one night I used my gifted, these are so lovely, these gifted Tulip Atimo, they're the red set. And it comes with a bunch in little smaller sizes. So this is a 1/0 or a 1.8 millimeter. The pattern called for, I believe it called for like 1.7 or 1.75, and I didn't have that, so I just used the closest one possible. Now this is called Elise. The pattern is called Elise, E-L-I-S-E. I will always put the designer and the pattern names down below. I also put links if possible, and if it's a Ravelry link, I do put it in uppercase because people still have issues on the internet with viewing Ravelry sometimes. So the designer's name is Grace. Sorry, I couldn't look down and see this. Grace Fearon, F-E-A-R-O-N. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but that's how it's spelt. And I did it. I pinned it out, and I didn't pin it super aggressive. And this is already going, I already know where it's going. It's going to be gifted. But, oh my God, I wish I had something to hold up against the back of it, because you're not going to get the full effect. I'll show it up close. I am not super proficient in crochet, but I feel like I did my best. And there are probably some mistakes in here, but I think it looks super cool. I enjoyed doing it. I would actually love to get like some black crochet thread. I know people are probably like, oh, you're never gonna see it. And you're right. I probably wouldn't see it. I would need a good light. It was super interesting. I've never done anything like this intricate, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. So I think I will possibly be making more in the future. This was, I worked on it exclusively, but I finished it in like maybe 2 days, 3 days. I don't know how many hours it was, but I love it so much. And if you want to see the back, that's the back. But yeah, interesting. I thought about buying that spray starch, but I don't think it needs that because it is a doily. It's going to go like on a flat table, on a flat area. So I don't think it needs that. But you guys didn't see this at all, and I hadn't talked about it, so I thought it was fun. I mean, we all get that, like, itch, right, to try something we've never tried, and I just was like, I want to know if I can do it, and I did it. So, I mean, and I had the supplies already. I didn't have to buy anything, and that makes it a lot easier that I didn't have to buy anything, that I was just like, I'm going to go down right to my craft room and just, boop, I have it right here, done. Let's see. I have one more thing to talk about in this segment, and then I'm not quite sure technically I have a little bit more because I have some purchases. I have a purchase and then I have a gift. So John had bought me this from Rising Tide Fiber Company. We are baseball fans. We have tickets for the game. We love the Baltimore Orioles. And I already actually had a skein of this yarn, and it's in my So Faded by Andrea Mowry. And I bought it many years ago at the Frederick Fiber Festival when they were hosting it still at the newspaper building. And I bought it then. And I've used it, so I don't have it anymore, but I now have the set, which Melissa had not dyed in a very long time. It's called Bird Watching, but it is the Orioles colors, which Maryland has the Baltimore Oriole bird that is, I don't know if that's the actual state bird. I don't think it's the state bird, but editing Aquila here. I've lived in Maryland almost all of my life except for in college. I should have known that the state bird really is the Baltimore Oriole. Shame on me. It's the Baltimore Oriole is the name. I don't know like the Latin bird name for it, but it has the 2 minis. This is her Talbot fingering. Talbot is a county here in Maryland. Talbot fingering, and it's a 75/25 superwash merino nylon, 463 yards, and the minis are 20 grams at 92 yards each. I am not sure what I'm doing with this, whether it's going to be maybe a shawl or socks. Don't know yet, but it's going to end up in my stash. And I have to put it in my Ravelry stash, so because I try to put everything in there. I have some other skeins over here I need to do that with before I can put it on the actual wall. The purchases I made were from Lisa at Fibernymphdyeworks, and she was having, for Pi Day, she always does a colorway for Pi Day. Let me open this. And I decided I might as well buy something else with it. But she brought back a few of her other Pi colorways. Now, Pi meaning 3.14, so the stripes are in a sequence. And I bought the Hollow Pi, which is the Halloween color Pi. And it's on the strong DK base. I figured I would make myself some DK weight Halloween socks. And this is 5 stripes. And the stitch marker will tell me which end to start with. So it's a 75/25 also, and it's 245 yards for the DK, which has nylon in it, which is great for making your DK weight socks. I love this so much. And she has instructions in here for how to start and stop your Pi. It has all the colorway names too. So there you go. I love it. I love it so much. The other colorway I just thought was beautiful and I had to have it. And so self-striping yarn is fun to have and work with. So I bought, and I think it's a Lord of the Rings reference, and I could be wrong, so I apologize because I don't really know that subject matter very well. This is on her bounce base. It's a 80/20 merino nylon, 400 yards. Middle Earth Imagined collection, so I believe I'm right. Tolkien. Lisa loves Tolkien. And it's called Durin's Bane, and it's 5 stripes with an 80-yard bonus mini. But I loved this color. and the bright orange mini. I love it so much. I know I have very two Halloween-y looking colors, but I'm okay with that. So this will be, I'll have some fingering weight Halloweenish looking socks, and then actual Halloween socks. So I have one more thing that's actually like knitting that I'm working on. If you've been around for a long time, thank you for watching me and thank you for being here. And if you're new, you may have never seen this before. So I, 3 years ago, purchased a advent calendar from Knitting Niqabi, who is a dyer and does dyeing with all natural dyes. And it was a labyrinth themed advent calendar. I love labyrinth. And I had recently been watching, I had seen this pattern come up in Ravelry and I loved it. And I was like, that is beautiful. I love it so much. And then I've been seeing people make it. So, Nicole, am I right? Yeah, Nicole from Professor Pearl podcast. And I watched, also Sheena from Casual Fashion Queen, who is a dyer, also made one. I'm sure there's other people, but those are two people I follow, and I've seen them making it. They are making the Heirloom Quilt Cardigan by Katryn Seeburger. And it's meant to look like individual patchwork squares like a quilt. So I didn't know what I was going to do with the labyrinth yarn, and I had attempted to make the first square. It came with a blanket pattern, and I just wasn't feeling it. It had blocks that were, the first block I attempted, I just didn't love knitting it. Then it had intarsia blocks for the blanket of like different images from the movie. And I thought it was cool, but I was just like, I'm not feeling the intarsia. So I cast on, now this is the first two colors of the labyrinth calendar because they went together. So I don't have the colorway names for these right in front of me, but it was these two colors. Now the pattern is DK weight, so I'm holding it double, and I've done weighed these, and I have enough to make 2 squares for my cardigan out of each set of 2. So it was 24 minis, so I'll be able to have 24 squares. I'm making the second size, which calls for 27 squares in total. And so I use this one as my background color on this square I'm going to show you, and this as my foreground color, and I'll just switch it when I do the next square. And it's hard to see because it's the yellow with the variegated yellow, but here is my square. Can you see the star? I have never done stranded color work. Well, I shouldn't say that. I should not say that because I think I may have done stranded color work where you purl back because you are knitting flat. So when you're going back, you're purling and you're doing stranded color work. So here's my messy back. I don't mind showing it. It's not great, but at the same time, I'm okay with it. It can be fiddly if you've never done something like this. But I've talked to Nicole and she was like, it gets better and easier as you do it because you're making 27 of these and then you put them together. And I have my whole bag here of the yarn. This is a bag it came with. And here is her label, Knitting Niqabi. Okay. And this is the main skein that came with it. So I'll have this to be able to do, there's sleeves, obviously, and there's like ribbing and edging. I don't know how I'm going to work that in. And then there's this whole bag. And I have all the yarn names and stuff in here. And they're all, I put them all together as pairs. And I have these little stickers on them saying which day they were. So I'll be able to pull out the next set. It doesn't have to be 3 and 4. It can just be whatever. And then to supplement, because I know I'm not going to have enough yarn, to supplement that, I had bought this set from Color Storms, who is local here. They'll be at Maryland Sheep and Wool if you're interested. This is a 6 skein set, and they're all natural dyed also. So I will be able to use these to supplement into my sweater because I know I'm going to need more yarn. And I feel like these are going to go well with the other yarn because they are naturally dyed. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I am way excited for this. I've been thinking about it for like months. And I finally said, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. So here we go. This is what I have to show you, and I'm not quite sure what else because I have nothing else on the needles right now other than the shawl that I haven't finished, and that's just going to sit on a back burner, and I'm okay with that. You'll probably see maybe the start of another square, but other than that, maybe a blocked love note? I don't know. Depends on what I have going on. Like I said, it's been a little bit of a whirlwind with things. And I appreciate everybody that just hangs in and sticks with me. So until the next clip, guys, I'll see you then. Hey, everybody. It is now Saturday. Oh, God, I forgot the date already. April 20th. Let's round up this video and I can get it posted on the YouTubes. I am blocking my love note just so you guys could see. I did actually do that. It's taking a while to dry. It's kind of been like sprinkly rain here today and yesterday, so I didn't want to put it outside, so it's just kind of been laying on the bed under the fan. But it's exciting. It's exciting. Also, kind of an obvious change from the last clip. I went and got my hair chopped off. So if you guys remember, I had gotten I had given myself, well, I went and had it done, and then I just would clean it up all the time. I did a mohawk, and so all my sides are growing out, and all the stuff here is grown out. I did have a full mohawk, not just a partial mohawk, so the back was fine. This whole strip was fine, but I needed to do something. I couldn't put my hair up to do anything because it looked kind of crazy, and you know, long hair, it was a little damaged probably, so I just went and got it cut short. It is kind of angled, so I need to go get a new straightener because I think I let my oldest have the other one, and so it curls under a little. I do have a like round brush blow dryer thing, but that's just making it curl too much. I thought buying a curling iron would be my best bet because I wanted to maybe do curls. It's too curly. The barrel's too small. I should have bought a bigger barrel, but I think I'm just going to go with a straightener instead. So I'm going to return the curling iron and get a straightener. Not that you guys all need to know all this information, but here we are. I told you guys I did that demonstration or the tutorial for my scrubbies, and I have since made more scrubbies. I only have one ball of my scrubby yarn left. Some of this has been gifted to me, and I appreciate that because these make wonderful presents for whatever. This is a Christmas yarn, obviously. It turned out really cool because it almost spiraled like a mint candy. So I got, just because I had talked about this in the video, I got 5 full ones using the crochet hook I use and the pattern that I like to follow. 5 full ones, and I had a little bit left, so I had a little bit of the green left also, and I made a partial. Sometimes I keep these for myself. Sometimes I will gift, you know, like a whole set like this. And then I had the other ball I had already put down in my gift bag box I have downstairs. So I have the solid green ones here, and yeah, I have 1 ball left, and it's blue. It's like a dark blue. It's really pretty. And yeah, Hazel and I went to her school, was having like a little talent show, so I sat and made 2 of those while kids were performing. I have to look at the crochet though, so I was trying not to fully like disengage from the kids, so I was like looking down and doing a little and then looking up. So, you know, she didn't want to participate. She wanted to possibly do karate, but she didn't have a partner to do it with in her grade that also did karate, so she didn't want to demonstrate skills by herself. So, and that's okay. It's okay. She's not feeling so hot today, which sucks. But you know, that's life. The last thing I have to show you guys is the Quilt. No, what is it called? Oh my god. The quilt cardigan. It's the vintage quilt cardigan? Oh my god. Nope. Heirloom quilt cardigan. That is terrible. I could not remember. I finished the second square for the first set of colors. So I had showed you guys the first one. This was number 1. So I had already showed you guys this. And I'll show you guys how much yarn I have left. And it's going to vary a little. I have been weighing each individual mini to make sure it is 20. The one that I used where I had, here's how much I had left. This is how much I had left of the variegated color. And this one I know was a little under 20. It was 19 something. But I had this much left. Sorry, I have a mess here. But this much left of the flat yellow. So I just didn't cut it yet. I will cut it, but here is block number 2, where it's inversed. The colors are inversed. I pulled out all the minis from the bag yesterday. It was yesterday. And I was just looking at them and I was like, oh, it was a 30 mini advent. So I technically have enough. Now, what could I do? I only need 27 for the size cardigan I'm making. So I could technically pull out 2 of the minis and use that maybe for the ribbing on the cuff. I'm going to insert a picture here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. It has ribbing around the neckline. The sleeves are solid colors. And then there's ribbing on the sleeves. So could I pull a set of the minis and do ribbing? Because I also thought, oh, what if I made a square and did elbow patches? But I don't know if I want to do that. So I'm going to pull one set of minis off to the side. I'm not sure which one yet, but I put them all together on a rod so they're all like pretty. And I am trying to save them in my YouTube stories for this whole project. It's going to have its own story feature. You can do it at, what is that called? Oh my gosh. It's on the main page of, not on your Instagram, and you can save separate highlights. I think they're called highlights. You can make a highlight and then enter all your stories for just that highlight. So if it was all related to the quilt cardigan, I'm going to do that. Because I've been showing the colors before I knit them up. And Luna is going to rub on the tripod and probably knock it over, but maybe not. Okay. So I think I have a full skein also from the dyer. And maybe I can get 2 sleeves. I'm not sure if I can or cannot yet. So I might not have to bust into my other naturally dyed yarns. I don't know. We're going to get there. We'll get there. I did start number 3. So this is using days 3 and 4 from the advent. This was day 3 and this was day 4. And I said the names. I think this was called Owl, Snowy Owl or Owl. And this one wasn't. Dang it. I'll try to insert here the names. But I started that and Luna, stop it. You can't chew. It has a cord on it for a light. And she wants to. She's being bad. She's bad, kitty cat. I did start it. I only have like 10 more rows left on this block. And it looks so good. It looks so good, y'all. I'm so excited. Yay. The floats are starting to look better. I'm figuring it out. It's just taking time. And each block, I'm hoping, will be better than the last block. That's what I'm hoping. Because versus my first block, they don't look as nice. And that's okay. I'm hoping to maybe get both of these done today or this weekend. That would be a goal. Then I would have 4 done. I am so stinking happy with how these are turning out. I'm so happy. Let's see. Reading. I finished the whole Lunar Chronicles series. That is by Melissa Meyer. And it's initially 4 books. And then there's like novellas. I'm going to kill the cat. there was a novella, a book with a bunch of short stories in it, and the only thing I did not read is there is a comic type book, a graphic novel, all about one of the characters, and I didn't read that. And I still might. I saw that it was free in my public library, and I could just read it on my phone when I felt like it, but I don't want to not finish it also and have to return it to the library. So, watching, excuse me, I've been watching Resident Alien. I want to watch Fallout. I'm waiting for John and I to have time to watch that together. I think he would want to watch it also. And let's see. We watched a lot of movies lately. So John and I and a few friends are in a movie club, like a book club. We just been talking about movies. I mean, we talk about other stuff too, but movies. We've been talking about watching movies by different directors and different, remakes, like if it's a movie and a remake. So we essentially ended up watching Thomas Crown Affair. If you've never seen it, there's the original version. I'm terrible at actors' names, but it's older. It was really good. The premise is different from the newer one that has Pierce Brosnan and Rene Russo in it, which isn't even newer. It's still late 90s or early 2000s. I can't remember, but considering it's 2024, it's not new. So we watched, John wanted to watch the new one also, which I love. I own that one on DVD. It's such a great movie. We've talked about heist movies. We've talked about cars that are in movies. It's been a really fun adventure. One of the first movies we watched was The Red Shoes. I think I talked about that in a previous episode. But just recently, we all decided to watch a Hitchcock film because, we want to watch classics too. So we picked Rear Window, which I have seen before. I really liked it. I thought it was good. It's if you don't watch Hitchcock movies, he's got a whole setup to it, right? So it's like a slow burn almost. So we watched Rear Window, which I really enjoyed. Before we watched Rear Window, I decided I wanted to watch a different Hitchcock film just because I had never seen it. So I watched Dahlem for Murder, and I really enjoyed that movie. And then I watched North by Northwest, and honestly, I think that was my least favorite. I want to watch Birds, but that is not available streaming anywhere for free. And of course, I've seen Psycho. So there's some movies that I have seen. And let's see. I can't think of the second movie that we watched. We've only officially picked, I think, 3 movies. We talk about a lot of movies and then we watch stuff. Why can't I think? It was another older movie. So we've been talking about classic 90s teen movies. We're probably going to pick something a little more current for our next movie. But it's been a whole lot of fun just dredging up old memories and then really trying to rack my brain on, actors' names, because I am really bad at that. And there is a person in our group that can just rattle off names, and I'm just I don't know how they can do it. I don't know how they do it at all. But today is Barb's Flame and Fiber from the Flame and Fiber podcast. She does a monthly Zoom call, and that's today. They pick a day during the Zoom call for the next month. So if I get this up in time, I don't know if I will or not. You could join us there. The information is in Ravelry under the podcast group of Flame and Fiber, and it has a Zoom link that you can use. So I will be there. I enjoy seeing all the people every month, and I haven't been in 2 months. So, yeah. It's been a very busy week, 2 weeks, whatever it's been since I recorded an actual episode. So thank you to everybody who is tuning in and watching and commenting and doing all the wonderful, nice things. So I hope everybody's well, and please take care of yourselves and check on others. And yeah, that's about all I got for today. So until the next episode, peace, love, and happy knitting. Oh, and happy YarnCon Day. Happy Witchy Festival Day in Salem. That's a new festival. Also, Frederick Fiberfest is coming up. Maryland Sheep and Wool is coming up. And then the day before that is Yarn Centric. So there's all kinds of fiber festivals. Michigan. One of the Michigan festivals, because I saw that Frogget was there. So there's a lot happening in the yarn world that it's getting nicer out. So I'm really excited for all the festivals that are coming. And hopefully you guys can get out to one in your area and enjoy yourselves, because we get a lot right in this area, so I'm very grateful for that. So okay, sorry, peace, love, and happy knitting until the next episode. Bye guys.